Hello there, welcome to the Kessel Runway show. Hi everyone, it's Anaria from the Kessel Runway here with a recent arrival from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So as we know, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opened not so long ago, but unfortunately through to global events, the parks have been unable to be open for most of us in the world, particularly myself. I had planned to visit during Celebration Anaheim, but as that has been postponed for 2 years, it looks like I won't be able to visit for a little while. I don't have too many excuses to travel to the US, so a trip like that's going to have to wait until the parks are back open and it's safe to travel again. So excitingly, Disney decided to launch a bunch of the Galaxy's Edge exclusive items on the Disney Store. So I made use of that and picked up 2 pieces that were at the top of my shopping list for when I was able to visit the parks, and not surprisingly they are Star Wars fashion related, of course. What we have here is the Rey t-shirt and the Rey vest. Now technically these are more along the lines of perhaps everyday cosplay. They are heavily costume inspired, and of course you can use them as costumes or you can use them as part of a Star Wars themed outfit. So these ones, I know that they launched on the Disney site a little while ago, but due to the cost of international shipping, I use a US mailbox. So it takes a little bit longer for things to get to me here in New Zealand, but that still makes it a terribly exciting time when they do finally arrive. So Shop Disney does ship internationally, but unfortunately their shipping rates are quite high. So it's actually cheaper for me to use a US mailing address, so I get them shipped from Disney to my US address and then they ship it on to me here in New Zealand. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's a lot more affordable considering the exchange rate and international postage, and honestly I don't mind the wait when it comes to awesome items like this. So I'm very excited to take a closer look at these items. As you can see, they arrived in plastic. The outer packaging from Disney tends to get discarded when they arrive at my mailbox, so I've got them here in their plastic as it would have been shipped from Disney without the external Disney packaging. So I'm super excited about these. Her Rey's vest is such a distinctive part of her costume and probably the most wearable of Rey's costumes in terms of incorporating her outfits from the films into everyday fashion that we can wear. So I'm going to start with the t-shirt first. I'm just going to pop that one off to the side. So this one here, as you can see, it's in its plastic. It looks like a cream colored sort of a v-neck shirt with this distinctive stitching along the edges here. This particular shirt retailed for US $49.99, so it's a little expensive, but then it is a sort of more of a costume replica rather than a t-shirt. So these items did actually sell out pretty fast when Disney released them, so I'm not surprised. It was just prior to Halloween, so it did make for a popular choice when it comes to a Halloween costume. So we'll have a look there. It's got a lovely texture and the whole thing is lined with a fabric that feels like t-shirt fabric. So it looks like it'd be fairly comfortable to wear, and of course being white, nearly white, sort of like an off-white cream, having that extra layer is just great for hiding undergarments for us ladies. And you can see it's got the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge tag and the fabric composition and the care tags and all that sort of stuff. So at the sides we can see it has the same sort of it's almost like a chunky overlocking or serging, as it's also known, along the edges, and then at the bottom it has a raw edge and then we can see that the lining is also has a raw edge at the bottom here. So if you want to wear this thing for every day, you just need to be aware that these may lose a little bit of shape or roll a little with care, as some knit fabrics tend to do. But if you're saving it for a costume or for specific events, then it won't get too much wear. As you can see, it's got a lovely sort of just soft raw edge along the bottom there with the lining fabrics on the inside. There was a matching belt that was also released at the same time as this, but I felt like the belt was a little more costumey, and I was looking for pieces that I could incorporate into a Ray inspired outfit rather than being a Ray costume. So I'm really liking how sturdy this feels. I was a little bit, you know, ooh, it's a $50 item and it is essentially a tank top with a collar. But, you know, being a bit of a novice costumer myself, I know how much hidden detail and hidden work goes into even the simplest of costumes. So I thought, yep, I wanted a piece to be able to pair with the vest. The vest was at the top of my list, and I wasn't expecting this one to be released at the same time, so that was exciting that they did both, because they are a matching set, as it were. But I really like the details of this. I think it's really nicely done. Obviously with this thicker stitching around the collar, I'll hold it up again, that it's going to, you know, be wary of snags, because that is very pretty stitching. You not want to ruin that. It's kind of hard to hide snags in that sort of stitching design, but it's got a good weight to it. This isn't flimsy. It's really quite nice. With you can see in the lining, it's all sort of all the serging, all the seams are on the inside, so that the lining is all neatly done, excuse me, and it looks like it's a really good color, you know, not too white, you know, it's got a good texture to it, so it doesn't look like, you know, that you just sewed a collar on a plain standard white t-shirt. Yeah, I really like that. I'm really glad that I decided to gamble on that one. I wasn't quite sure if I thought it might be a dud. That's one of the other things, is that these items are obviously designed to be sold exclusively in Galaxy's Edge, where you can see them in person, as opposed to being sold online. It's a gamble. It's always a gamble. The world of costumes, particularly sort of, you know, Star Wars costumes, there is a huge array of quality and accuracy when it comes to fabric costumes. So I wasn't sure if it would feel like a cheap Halloween costume, because I can't see it in person at the park, but I'm really excited. So now we have the vest. I love the fabric of this. This feels really nice, really quite detailed. Okay, let's have a full look at this. I'll just move this one out of the way for now. So we've got, it's an open front. Oh wow, that's really nice. Wow. Okay. Ooh, that's like a micro suede, a faux suede along the inside. You can really see that. Wow. Okay, that's cool. I was not expecting that. Sort of a panel, a few stray threads, that's fine. This feels really nice. Wow, that's so smooth. Oh, I like it. Okay, this is really pretty. Oh, I am so excited about this. Yeah, the shoulder pads are like sewn as a separate piece that have been, and then like sort of top stitched and then attached to the vest, so they have this great 3D quality to them that makes them sort of thicker than the rest of it. You can see the sort of the top stitching rows that go along there. This particular vest, I saw the tag was $59.99 US. which I thought was reasonable, because that's essentially what, $60, and the shirt was $50, so that's only just a little bit more than the t-shirt that goes under it. But it feels like this one has a lot of detail to it. There's certainly a lot of fabric, a lot of stitching. It's got a similar sort of chunky sort of blanket stitch style, sort of overlocking over the edges along the front and around the neckline, as you can see there on this beautiful sort of, it feels very suede-like. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's a suede, but it feels very suede-like to the touch. It's really, really beautiful. They say it is, what's the fabric composition here? Polyester, 62% polyester, 32% wool, 6% other fibers. The lining is polyester and cotton, so yeah, and you can see that the actual vest lining, complete with seams through the waist. It's got darts in the back, so it's all neatly fitted and tucked in. It's got a sort of a nice little raw edge. The lining is tucked over, so the lining isn't raw, it's actually folded under, so you've just got this kind of outer raw edge. But this is really quite a durable piece. I think that's really nice. I love the texture of the outer, because it says it's the shell has wool in it. It's 32% wool. It does feel like sort of a sturdy, sorry, there's a thread there, like a really sturdy sort of like it's made out of an old wool blanket, a nice wool blanket. And then on the back, we can really get to see the shape through the waist here. They've done a lot of shaping to really sort of give it fitting. You can see that there's a little bit of a sort of almost a peplum flare around the hips from this waist seam, and we've got some lovely shaping here through these panels under the arm and the lower back to give it a really nice shape. And of course this is echoed with the darts and the lining on the inside, so everything's nicely tucked in, gives it a really good shape. There isn't a seam at the collar here, it's all one piece with the back, so that's sort of nice and comfortable. But for essentially a licensed replica, this will do pretty well for either, you know, sort of everyday wear, or as part of a costume, or everyday sort of cosplay version. I'm really quite impressed with this. I'm sure some of you will have seen it at the park, so you know what it's like in person, but this is my first time seeing it because I haven't been able to go to the parks, and I'm super excited by this. It's really, really pretty. I love the color. The feel of the fabric isn't too itchy. I know some people have sort of a bit of a wool allergy or just don't like the feel of wool. This doesn't feel too rough. There's just a few little bits of fiber caught in the thread there. It doesn't feel too scratchy like some wools can, but I really like this, and it has a sort of a thin cotton feel to the inner lining, which feels really quite nice. I can see this being a popular choice to put on, to have a sort of a Batu in the themed outfit to wear to Galaxy's Edge. Something that would be very comfortable to wear, and I'm really quite impressed with how it feels in person. I can definitely see myself getting a fair amount of wear out of this. Compared, you know, this piece feels a bit more durable than this. White garments, obviously, they're hard to keep clean. They show up marks a little bit more easily, but you can imagine these pieces worn together, sort of having a bit of a Ray themed outfit would look really quite pretty. You know, with some dark pants and some pozus, comfortable pozu Ray shoes, boots to wear for your day at say at a convention or at the Disney parks, you know, when it's safe again to go do such activities. But in the meanwhile, I am super excited that Disney put these items up on the website so that international fans like myself, or just fans in the US that can't get to Galaxy's Edge or one of the Disney parks or anything like that, we're able to grab these. I'm super excited with this piece. It feels really nice. It's one of those pieces where you just want to keep touching it because of the fabulous details. So much more interesting. Like, I love a good t-shirt. I certainly have a lot of good Star Wars t-shirts, but I do really appreciate some of the more special pieces. And I know that this is technically more of a costume piece than fashion, but for somebody who does love putting together themed outfits, this is perfect. This is perfect. Like, you pair it with either a plain white t-shirt if you want to keep this, or if you feel like this piece is too expensive, then you can just pair this with a lovely v-neck top of your own making, or just picking up something cheap locally and then pairing this beautiful vest with some pants, or however you want to style it, is really quite a beautiful piece. And if I had seen this in person in the parks, I would have grabbed it off the rack and not letting it go. This is really, really pretty. And I will definitely want to put together an outfit for the day when I can go to the Disney parks. So yeah, so that's so cool. I'm super excited with this piece. And I am glad. I know this one is a little bit more expensive for what it is compared to the vest, but I am glad that I got the matching undershirt. So, and then of course, if you want to, I feel like the vest was one of the harder parts to do from the costume. I know that if you wanted to do the costume accurately, you would need matching the gauntlets, the sort of the sleeves that go with this. But so for me, this feels like a perfect Disney bounding piece, because the details are all there. It's got a lovely sort of durability to it. It feels really well stitched. There's a lot more detail that's sort of accurate to the original costume than I was somewhat expecting for park merchandise. Obviously, I haven't been able to go to the parks and get a real sort of hands-on feel for how sort of quality and in world all the sort of merchandise feels. But if this is a taste of what the rest of Galaxy's Edge is like, then I can't wait for the day when I can travel to the US and go visit Batu myself. But in the meanwhile, I've got this beautiful vest and this lovely shirt underneath to wear and dream of the day that I can go. So thank you so much for watching this little mini haul from Galaxy's Edge, and I hope, as I'm sure you do, that we can go to the Disney parks someday soon, and I will be definitely packing this one with me for the trip. So thank you so much for watching, and may the force be with you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, check out our other videos, and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the force be with you.